Hey guys, welcome back. So I know that some of you have already started medical school and some others like myself will be starting here in the next couple of weeks, and maybe some of you are hoping to start in the next few years, maybe you're in high school, so this video will still pertain to you. I want to talk a little bit about what I've been doing in the months leading up to starting medical school and how you can get ahead. So in case you didn't already know, if you know nothing about medical school, essentially it's 4 years long. The first 2 years are preclinical years. The last 2 years are clerkships, where you're basically rotating around, trying out different specialties. And so the first 2 years in the preclinicals, it's basically basic sciences, anatomy, things of that nature. So before starting medical school, it can be pretty easy to become neurotic or anxious about what you may or may not know or what you will need to know in those years. So what have I been doing with my free time, and have I been studying? The answer is no, guys, I haven't, not really at all. And I would probably advise you all to do the same. As many of you have probably heard, once you get into medical school, it can be pretty overwhelming. It's not the end of your life by any means, but there is a lot of studying that goes into it, and I think it's just better use of your time if you develop new hobbies and just take advantage of that free time that you have before medical school to really unload and prepare yourself mentally so that when you do come upon that first day and everything starts adding up really quick, you're just in the right mindset and you're not already boggled and just really overwhelmed by all the studying you had already been doing. So I know you may feel the need to study. I know I definitely did. It was very difficult for me to just relax and not study anything, especially with COVID now. I can't really go out and enjoy myself the way I usually would have done a year ago. And I had no anatomy base, for example, out of college, and so the anxiety for me to actually try to get ahead by studying a little bit was definitely there, but I fought it, and I think there are much better ways to actually get ahead for medical school, and I'll tell you what those are. Number one, guys, getting that paperwork in early. So for those of you that don't know, the medical school admissions process is really long. You have to submit a primary application, and then you get secondaries, and you submit those, then you have to interview and wait that dreaded process of finally getting in. But truth is, it doesn't end there. There's a lot of paperwork to get done prior to matriculation, ranging from financial aid forms, filling out FAFSA, applying for loans, proof of residency, and so on and so forth. There is a lot of paperwork to get done, guys, and please do not slack on this. It adds up, and you don't want to get caught going into the semester and still having to be communicating with financial aid because you still haven't paid tuition. So that's really important. Tip number 2, guys, I think it's important to become familiar with resources that you know you'll be using in medical school. So for example, I know that I'll be using Anki, which is a flashcard resource that a lot of students use. I can make a whole separate video about it since there's so much that goes into it, but that's exactly why it's sort of important to read up on it, become familiar with the app so that you're not trying to just figure out the logistics while also trying to actually use the app for studying. Likewise, there's plenty of other resources you can use, so I think it's kind of important to just fish around, see what you may use, and become familiar with it. And tip number 3, I think it's also really important to establish a set study space. So this is my study space that I've sort of built here, and again, we can make a whole separate video about that and why I think that's so important, but yeah, really just set a place to where you can go study, forget about everything else, and just chug through those lectures. So again, guys, just to recap and just to re-emphasize, because I know that lurking question of whether or not you should try to get ahead by studying will definitely pop up in your heads. In my opinion, you shouldn't. I'm not going to be that person to say that it's going to hurt you, or that I know if you go on SDN or Reddit and all of these environments, they're definitely going to tell you, oh, you're a gunner, you're this, you're that, if you're studying before medical school. I don't agree with that. If it's going to put your mind at ease, then I say go for it. I just think that your time is much better spent developing new hobbies, finding things that may lead to a better work-life balance in the future while you're in school. Maybe even learning to work out, learning more about nutrition, all of these things that will keep you healthy throughout school, since it's going to be a pretty stressful time. So that's the end of the video, guys. Let me know what y'all are doing to prepare yourselves for medical school or college or whichever school you're about to start. Leave that in the comment section below. Also, if you have any questions, as always, please like, comment, and subscribe. Stay healthy, stay safe. Catch you in the next one. Adios. But truthful, dang, shut up.